All right, what's going on? It's Bobby Skinner talking Giants, and this is your Week 17 Giants film review versus the Rams. Sadly, to me, this is the second most fun film of the year, right? And the most fun would be the Cardinals film. I thought there was a lot of cool things on offense, good plays, good play design, good execution. On defense, really took advantage of some of the Rams' issues and were killer on third down. You know, you had the interceptions. I just thought like there was like the best plays on film that you saw. Obviously, you know, they ended up losing. They do have a talent disparage. There's a talent difference between the two teams right now. But I thought you saw some good stuff from both sides, including like this little reverse you're seeing for Wan'Dale Robinson. So let's get into all of it. Again, make sure to like and subscribe. I know I've missed some film reviews this year. This is probably the last one that will be after the week. I am going to do all of them. I missed the Seahawks, I believe. The Packers. There's a couple that I missed due to time constraints. I think I'm going to put those on the channel sometime in the offseason. So, all right, let's get into it. First play. This is the Jalen Hyatt drop, right? And this kind of sets up a lot of what the Giants were able to do and what they're reading and what they're doing. Now, Jalen Hyatt obviously drops this play. But the Giants use this short motion that, Mike McDaniel has kind of brought to the NFL, right? Giving away coverage, forcing them to show their hand, right? So the read player for Tyrod Taylor for the majority of this game was this safety right here. Really made the decision of where Tyrod Taylor was going a lot of the times, especially when he was throwing the ball deep, right? Right, trying to occupy this player. Like we've got on the front side of this progression, right? You have this dig, an out by Darren Waller, and then the out by Darius Slayton, right? So you're reading this player, right? This is who you're reading, right? So he stays, right? So you're not going to get this ball to Darren Waller because he's occupying here. So since he's occupying here and he's not playing deep, well, now we've got a one-on-one with Jalen Hyatt. And Tyrod Taylor trusts that, right? He trusts that his speed is going to win. This is a good... look where the ball is coming out. Look where Tyrod Taylor is pulling the trigger on this. He's not past him, but he has the faith in him. Puts a great ball out there. Jalen Hyatt does a great job tracking it, but is just not able to pull it down. Like you're gonna watch Tyrod Taylor's eyes, right? First, we're reading this player, right? We're just reading this safety. He's making the decision for us. Okay, he sits, he plays under. Put a beautiful ball on him. No catch though. Here, the shallow cross to Jalen Hyatt. I want to talk about the protection, what went wrong on this. This is the play that the Giants missed on 4th and 1 later in the game. But you're going to see, look, the line of scrimmage is at the 39. See how Jalen Hyatt, he's running at 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. Remember that as we come by. But you got the sit route by Darren Waller, which is supposed to pull this defender, right, and allow you to get the speed out here, take advantage of the speed versus a linebacker. Obviously, Hyatt's going to have that threat. This is a clear out from Shepard. Tyrod Taylor is able to avoid the pressure and get it out there. So I want to show you something with the protection too. Watch Andrew Thomas. See that little point? Because it'll make sense. This is an outside linebacker right here. Right, with the motion, he comes out here. So they have to account for him pre-snap in their protections. Because you're going to get a free rush. You're going to get this linebacker as a free rusher. So who was responsible? Because if you don't see that outside linebacker, you would think that they would do a 4-man slide, 1, 2, 3, do a 4-man slide, and then would put Thomas one-on-one here, and then the back can leave out into the route like that he does. This is on the back because Thomas, like he said, like he pointed, I'm setting for this player out here. I have to account for that. Now he doesn't come, so Thomas blocks this. Pugh and JMS take this, and this is the back's responsibility, right? You have the Aaron Donald and this wide alignment trying to get a one-on-one with the outside linebacker who ends up dropping. This is on the running back. This is Eric Gray, which again, as they want to play Eric Gray a little more, I would assume. But when you make mistakes like that, you already can't really be trusted to block very well from what we've seen very little of him. Well, that's an issue. When you're just not blocking the guy that's supposed to be being blocked, that can ruin a play. Now, luckily, Tyrod Taylor was able to avoid it, but still an issue. And here's the Wandale touchdown, right? You got Mark Lewinsky in at fullback. This is the one good thing about the Mark Lewinsky fullback stuff is you do get defenses to start selling out because they just kind of follow it and read their keys and read them aggressively. But it does set up stuff. Now, I don't think it's worth having Mark Lewinsky as your fullback to set up, one play in 5 weeks. So this is that counter they're running, right? You get that surge motion by Lewinsky. He's kicking out. Bredesen's pulling, right? We're running counter. You're going to follow Pugh. And this actually gets blocked halfway well if they did hand it off. But instead, this defense reads, oh, they're running counter. So what am I going to do? We're going to jump gaps, right? We're going to get one gap over, right? So at this point, these two defensive linemen are like sick. We both did a great job. We got one gap over. That's awesome. Good job, guys. But instead, they're now going to be on the backside of this play. The linebackers, like we said, are reading this heavily, right? They're trying to stop this counter. Toss it to Wandale. Thomas and Pugh don't have to block those guys. Pugh works a good slingshot technique. Tyree's supposed to be pinning down. And then JMS. JMS is going to pull out here. Good job. Good job, JMS. Awesome job. Andrew Thomas. We're going to go to the safety. Good job. Wandale's going to be a lot faster than 52 out here. Cut it up. Bing, bang, boom. Giants touchdown. Good stuff. Good design. Love seeing Thomas with the energy. One of my favorite things is watching Andrew Thomas be happy. Good stuff. All right, first play on defense. Giants pre-snap back up into this too high look, right? Okay, too high. We're going to face, some type of cover 2, cover 4. Giants ran more cover 2 in this game than they had all year. Nope. We're actually going to give you a cover 0 look out of this. They threw the kitchen sink at Matt Stafford, right? I've never seen a Wink Martindale defense disguise. I mean, they disguised everything they did. They were in single high, they would back out in the 2 high. They were in 2 high, they would run cover 0 blitzes. Or they disguised everything, right? So you see this, like, okay, they're in some type of zone coverage, right? You're not man for man out here. Wrong. We're going to blitz our nickel corner. We're going to blitz our Mike backer. And we're going to man up here. We're going to man up here, man up here. McLeod out here for the tight end that stays in. And Stafford doesn't have the confidence in this, right? Doesn't have the confidence in this to throw this right here. Keeps it, ends up in an Okereke sack. They also just took advantage of the way that, I almost said Detroit because Stafford, that the Rams set their protections. But they were able to stunt them to death, man. Like, there was ways to take advantage of them. Have all these guys slant in a gap. Kayvon loops around. But you just have everybody slant in a gap. Right? And their running back almost always was accounted for DBs that were close to the line of scrimmage. Right? And the running back does do a good job picking this up. That's what he's supposed to do. But when Stafford doesn't trust it, well, now Bobby Okereke is going to get a sack. Now, that wasn't the best blitz design that they ran. There's better ones that we'll get into, but that was one. All right, now we got a 3rd and 8. I'm going to run a cover 1 blitz. This slot fade. Slot gets called for holding on this. But I do want to talk about the blitz because this sets up a lot. Now, Flock got killed anytime he got man coverage on Cooper Kupp, right, which is not good, but also it's Cooper Kupp, right, gets killed at this release. McKinney from center field makes a good play on this. Ball gets underthrown. but they're going to call flawed for holding or pass interference. But I want you to watch this blitz that they set up. So you have Dane Belton on the line of scrimmage, right? They're running back. Whenever they have a safety down here, their running back is always setting for the safety. That's who he's scanning for, is the safety, right? And then now you have 3 for 3 right here, right? 3-man slide, half slide. So that's how they set up this stunt, right? They have Dex. The center's got to occupy this, right? Crash into that guard's hip. And Azeez Ojulari is looping around, and there's no running back there to stop him, right? And then you get your one-on-ones with Kayvon and Jihad Ward. And you get Azeez Ojulari as a free rusher. Bam, get a hit on the quarterback. They're going to run that a lot. They took advantage of the way that the Rams use Kyron Williams in protection, where they just will only put him on the DB when the DB's close. Now, this is the Dane Belton's first interception on this dig route to Nakua. This is Stafford got a little hot doggy in this game too with his, no-look throws. They're cool and all, but maybe one reason that, he's not as known for them as Patrick Mahomes is because he throws a lot of interceptions on them. But Giants are in cover 2 with, the blitz of Simmons. And Stafford's reading Okereke. Wants to throw this dig, and there's a hole there. But he decides to no-look it to keep Okereke on this, right? Like Okereke sees his eyes, playing this. He's playing this anyways. And you're going to see it from this angle. Likes to do his little no-throw, or no-look. Right? I say, hey, I'm looking over here, Bobby Okereke. This is where I'm throwing. And instead, misses his receiver. And Dane Belton gets his first interception of the season. Will he get another? This is the Cooper Kupp touchdown. It's a bad spot to put your guys in, right? You're running this blitz. You've got straight man coverage versus trips. And this is just easy for them, right? These guys are setting picks. You're going to put Cooper Kupp in the speed out. You're going to roll out Stafford. McLeod never had a chance. Easy pitch and catch for the Rams. And I know, hey, you got McKinney lined up out here, so maybe you can bump him up or, you could have some type of disguise look. But once they figured out that this was in man, this was easy for them. And you get an easy touchdown. All right, back on offense. This is the Tyrod Taylor interception. Again, we're reading that same player that we talked before. This time it's a bad decision, right? We've got Slayton. Hey, wins. Like Slayton wins right here. But this is your read player right here. This is your read player for Tyrod Taylor. And he never shows anything else except for taking this away, right? He backpedals into his coverage. He's got the angle. And, this is too easy for him. This is too easy for a safety to make this play, right? Like I know this is towards the end of the half, but you gotta live with what you got. You gotta check this ball down to Saquon Barkley. And instead, you get over aggressive. And hey, maybe a better throw. This ends up being a good play, but I still think this ends up being, at worst, a pass breakup because it's not a good throw either. But again, you're reading that player. At no point does he show that he's doing anything but trying to take that sideline away. Ball's a little behind and inside. Interception. Next play. Giants don't run levels a little bit, but they do run it on this before the half. Get a nice 20 yards for Wan'Dale Robinson. They run it like the Colts did it with Peyton Manning, where now they motion Wan'Dale, but they have their outside receiver run the 5-yard in, and then you have the tight end run the 10 to 12 yard. right? It's like just a nice little handoff here for a quarterback, right? And you get this off coverage, right? You get this off coverage. You got man, easy, right? Easy money versus off coverage, right? You pull this defender out. You got this middle defender. He's playing with depth. That's just a nice little handoff, and Wandale makes some yak plays. Wandale's route running has improved so much too, right? Just like the little bit of this, right? Just, hey, take an outside track, right? We're starting inside the numbers. Let's take an outside track, right? And watch what it does to this defender. It pulls him out with him, right? So instead of this defender being here at the break or at the catch point, he's here and allows you to not only, have a cleaner catch, get yak. Like, there's some other stuff. I don't know if it's all in the film review, but Wandale, man, I'm really proud of Wandale and the improvements he made as a route runner, right? He's obviously going to have limitations with his arm length, his total size, but as a slot receiver, man, he's really improved. Back on offense, this is a concept we've seen all year. This is bread and butter, but it's kind of went away from the Giants playbook for a bit because DeVito's not very good at running it. It's their mesh concept. I call it mesh whip when you get it versus zone, right? Because you have the sit route of Slayton right here, and mesh is when you would have Hodgins and Waller. They'd be running these drives, and they would pass each other right here, where you can basically high-five each other. And it gets open versus man coverage, puts defenders in conflict. You have the rail route, which is the first read by Saquon Barkley. It's not there. But when you get it versus zone, it doesn't work. This, mesh doesn't work versus zone, right? Because guess what? This middle defender is just going to take the sit route with Slayton. If Hodgins takes this with the drive, this linebacker runs with Hodgins. This linebacker would run with Waller. So when you get it versus zone to the play side of this with the rail route with Saquon, if the rail route's not there, well, guess what? This defender's staying here. This defender's being occupied by Saquon Barkley. This defender's being occupied by Slayton. Pop it out for a little pivot whip route. Open. First down. Nice third down conversion. Get some yak for Darren Waller. Back on defense, 3rd and 8. Cover 1 blitz. Jihad Ward gets a sack. And we're going to go through that stunt again, right? And you just got man coverage all across the board pressed up. Just good man coverage, and Stafford's getting sacked. Let's see it from the other angle. Are we going to run that same stunt? Right? Guess what? We got a safety, right? We got a safety with the running back. Is the running back gonna block the safety? Okay. Now we have 3 players on this side. And then 2 for 2 right here. So they've got 6 for 6. What are we going to do? Let's start with the stunt. Or let's start with the back. The back is going to take the safety. Right? They're running a half slide. And guess what Dexter's going to do? He's going to play into that center, into the guard's hip, and allow Aziz to loop around. But guess what? This guard and this tackle, they're actually not running a half slide. They are running a full slide. And I think the back may have even messed this up. I think the back is supposed to come and take Kayvon off. This is a full slide. Because the guard messes this up too. Right? Because the tackle, and this guard's a rookie in Avila, who I liked, he steps down and he's pushing like, hey, you got to take inside presence, right? Which is Azeez Ojulari. So he's late to this, but he should be taking this. And the left tackle's like, I got Jihad Ward. But then he's like, oh shit, the left guard screwed up, so I'm going to go take Kayvon. But he ends up being late to this, and it allows Jihad Ward to become an unblocked player. Right? So just lots of mistakes up front by the Rams, right? First of all, I'm pretty sure this is he's setting for the safety, right? This running back is probably supposed to take this backside, and for the Rams, it should have been blocked here, blocking the stunt right here, blocking Dex, blocking Okereke, blocking McKinney, and then the back coming across and blocking Kayvon. But they screwed it up. Bam, Jihad Ward gets a sack. Back on offense. This is, what is this? 3rd and 10. Block and release by Waller. Giants are running dagger, which is this clear out and the dig, and then you're supposed to have something underneath. Now, the Giants with their block and releases are almost always like block, 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 to quote Andrew Whitworth, and then they'll come out into the flats. Almost always. And I think this player knows that. Right? Because watch how he plays this, right? He wants to play it from the outside. Don't want to let him get out here into the flats. Right? And that's just normal too. For the dagger concept is you want to have a player occupying space down here. But instead, Waller takes this up the middle. There's no inside presence because they're in man coverage. And Tyrod puts it on him. Well, his offensive line is getting blown up. Waller was able to drag him for a first down, which is huge because it sets up this. It sets up a Darius Slayton 80-yard touchdown pass from Tyrod Taylor, which is just beautiful. So what happened on it? Let's talk about it. This play on a whiteboard should not have went to Darius Slayton. Giants are running Y cross, right? You short motion Hyatt out here. He's essentially running a clear out, not really part of the progression, but you could throw it to him if you get the look. And you've got, or sorry, he is part of the progression. Slayton's not really part of the progression, right? So you got the cross by Waller, and then you got this pivot whip route by Wandale. This ball should go to Wandale, right? Like you're in man coverage. This is great. This is a great route by Wandale. Right? This ball should be out to Wandale Robinson. Absolutely, right? This player, because he's playing this, he's playing with depth, so you don't want to really throw this ball to Waller, even though you could if you wanted to. This ball should be going. For some reason, Tyrod doesn't throw it, and thank God. Sometimes results are better than process. But Slayton runs a great route down here, right? Like this player has inside leverage. Okay. He's able to stack them. And we'll see from the other angles. Tyrod puts a ball on him. He's got yak. Touchdown. Right, like he's reading this player right here, right? Because he wants to hit the Y cross. And he just doesn't do it. Like I don't know why he doesn't get to, like that pivot's part of the progression. Like Darius Slayton is number 4 in the progression of this. But I don't give a damn because that's a beautiful ball too. Like let's just watch that in real time again. Avoiding pressure in the pocket. Bam! Great catch by Slayton over the shoulder. Touchdown New York Giants. Here's the second Dane Belton interception. Again, just bad throw by Matt Stafford. Now, you probably shouldn't be throwing this anyways. But Rams are running stick on the front side of this, right? Giants in man coverage. You could throw this, but not much of a gain. But hey, you have this area open, right? That you have this area open, so he's playing this. That's where Stafford wants to get to. But he gets greedy, right? Instead of just hanging on to this for another half a second, right? If you hang on to this for another half a second, this is an easy throw, or Adore sees this and bails, and you just throw it right here for a little nice gain. But Stafford gets greedy, and he misses too, and you get your second interception of the game, right? Like, just overthrows it. Dane Belton missed the turnover. Back on offense, should have been a touchdown. Giants DeVito actually did score a touchdown with this versus the Commanders' first touchdown of the game. Giants run post wheel. Now, teams have kind of got onto their post wheel, so they run post wheel with Saquon, right? You have the post by Slayton right here versus quarters coverage. So this defender's like, hey, I'm gonna run with him. I've got no outside presence because Waller is going is vertical on this, right? So you don't really have a threat out here in the flats, and this player will have this out in the flats. So I'm not worried about this area right here, right? This safety is going to take this like he's taught, and this corner should pass it off. Well, this corner is not really worried about passing this off and covering the zone, but it's, again, he's reading Darren Waller, who's vertical, okay? So he's not really worried about this zone, and you don't really see the back get out there like this. But instead, Giants do. Saquon gets open, and you just miss, right? You actually think Saquon might have been able to track this a little bit better. Obviously, the pressure has something to do with that. John Michael Schmitz gets beat quick with the quick initial loss, and you got a player at your feet. But still, you got to make that throw. Pull that out in front of him. Now, again, I think Saquon could have tracked it a little better and maybe made a great play, but he doesn't. And at the end of the day, that's on the quarterback. Next play. Again, we're going to miss again. Actually, no, this isn't a miss. This is the Giants trying to get cute with the Mark Lewinsky and like, oh, look, see, this is why we have Mark Lewinsky at fullback. It's going to pay off. Right? We're going to run play action. We're going to run play action. They're going to sell out to stop the run. And guess what they're never going to do? They're never going to cover Mark Lewinsky, right? Wrong. They are going to cover him. And they were literally just hoping that they just didn't cover Mark Lewinsky, which I get. It's kind of a good bet. I like the idea behind it, but it just doesn't work. And guess what? Playing Mark Lewinsky is not really worth it that much. Next play. You guys know what the next play is? I'm going to tell you. The next play is DraftKings. How about that? We got some ads on the film review, and I'm not really good at this editing stuff, and it's not a video that goes out quick, so how about that? The NFL playoffs are approaching, and we've teamed up with DraftKings, an official partner of the NFL, to get you closer to the action. Right now, new customers who bet just $5 will get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Look at how it moves across the screen. Isn't that great? If sports betting is not yet available in your state, not to worry. You can still join in all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Sports. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code WORLD. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code WORLD only at DraftKings Sportsbook. You'll be glad you did. How about that? Isn't that great? I'm the best ad reader in the damn world. Thank you, DraftKings. We appreciate you. All right, this is Tyrod Taylor missing Isaiah Hodgins for a touchdown. Giants run that shallow cross again. Right, Wan'Dale's a sit. Slayton's the shallow, but you get a look, right? And this is good quarterback play to get to this by Tyrod. Right? We're reading this. We're seeing, oh, shit, the shallow's not going to be there. This player's going to go and cover this. The sit's not going to be there. Waller's not part of this because this safety is moving over here. He's giving Waller that attention. Well, guess what? I'm going to trust it. I'm going to go get Hodgins on the back side of this on the post, right? Like, this is good quarterback play right here. You just missed, though. Right? This is a good route by Hodgins, too, right? Like, he's already got that outside leverage. Let's move him outside and then break off of it. Good route by Hodgins. Red zone, that's where he's his best. And it's just behind him. And Hodgins is pissed because that would have given him the lead on the team for receiving touchdowns as little as he's played. Right? And he could bring that contract, that value to negotiations. Like, look what I do. But the ball's just behind him. And no touchdown for the Giants, unfortunately. Unless you want the tank. Next play. Kyron Williams, 28-yard touchdown run. The Giants don't like to go to light boxes. They do for one play, and this happens. And maybe that's why. And you're going to see what happens. They're simply just running zone, right? They're going to double decks. They do a good job on that. Get to the linebacker. Cooper Kupp blocks Cordell Flott. Wide receiver comes up and blocks McKinney. Puka Nacua is blocking two players, essentially. And Bobby Okereke is like, which way am I supposed to go? Because I got to play two gaps now, right? If I go this way, he's going to cut up. If I play underneath, he's going to go on the outside shoulder. I'm screwed. And that's why the Giants don't like to play from light boxes. Because the guys up front and their DBs are not good enough. and specifically their DBs, fucking suck in the run game. They really suck. Like, that's fucking get DBs that can play the run. Honestly, they're the biggest reason for the Giants' run defense struggles. All right, back on offense. This play didn't account for a holding penalty on Bellinger, but this is a great throw. Great catch by Jalen Hyatt. 47 yards taken off the damn board. Again, we're reading this player, right? We're reading this player. Guess what? They are in man coverage. So they man up on Gunnar Olszewski. This safety is playing this side of the field. He sure as hell ain't getting over there. I'm throwing that post, right? This player plays honest. He doesn't bail to cover the middle of the field. I'm throwing that post, right? This is a concept Mills, right? You got the deep end and the post. It's literally built to try and occupy this player, get him to cut this off, and throw the post. And boy, does it work. Instead, you get a freaking penalty on Daniel Bellinger, right? Like, let's watch Daniel Bellinger, who got called for holding on this. Maybe. Good pocket manipulation by Tyrod. Step up. Good placement. Good catch over the shoulder by Hyatt. And it doesn't count. Wasted play. That sucks. That really stinks. All right, this concept, wave. We're going to go through this 3 different times they run this concept. This is, when I did some film stuff with the Cover 1 guys who cover the Bills, this was a concept that they talked about that Brian Daboll loved in Buffalo, right? We saw it in preseason of 2022. We saw it a lot in Buffalo. We saw it at the beginning of 2022, and they kind of scrapped it. They come back to it here and there. They ran it a lot this play, where you have this deep post, and then you have these 2 deep crossing routes, dig routes, right? And it just occupies the zone. We're like, hey, post occupying this. This occupies here. And guess what? You find a big-ass hole in the sideline. A big-ass hole in the sideline, and you got Isaiah Hodgins wide-ass open. Right? Like, the blocking's not even very good, but you're still able to get this play, right? Because you know that there's going to be a big-ass hole in the zone. Awesome. Now let's run it again. Well, protection messes it up this time. It's a long developing play, and that's why the Giants kind of scrapped it. And because Daniel Jones didn't throw it early in 2022. But hey, let's just ignore the offensive line. Run the same play. Post. Look it. We got Jalen Hyatt for a big play. Tyrod Taylor's getting sacked. It's a long developing play. Like, those guys are having to get 50, not only having to get deep down the field, but then having to cross at 15 yards of depth, right? So let's see, we're at the 43. They're crossing at the 30, and they should honestly be doing, like, it's meant to be done at like the 28. That 13 to 15 yard range. Bredesen gets beat by Aaron Donald. All right, next play. 4th and 1. Run post wheel in the front, shallow cross. And this is where, hey, we brought it up earlier, right? This ball's at the 33. We ran a shallow cross with Jalen Hyatt earlier, right? He ran at 2 yards of depth. 31, right here. The first down marker's right here. Run post wheel in the front to get rid of these. You run post wheel to get these guys out of here, create space underneath. You run the sit by Waller to occupy this defender. Hey, this safety plays as well, right? From depth, coming and crashing down on it might not have worked anyways. But what really screws this up is this defensive end dropping back. And I know people say, oh, like Saquon's not part of this. Screws this up. And instead of getting 2 yards of depth by Hyatt, he gets none. We're running at less than a yard of depth. So I understand this messes you up, but you got to figure out a way to get more depth on this. Especially with this player crashing down. But if the Giants are going to start putting shallow cross on on film where they like to run with Jalen Hyatt. I know this is the end of the year. They're going to start doing. They're going to see that. Like that's on third down when the Giants line up in a 3-by-1 and Jalen Hyatt's tight. That's what I'm doing. I'm having my end drop back every single time. Every single time to disrupt that. Right? I'm saying, hey, backside end, you drop back, disrupt that. And if you're in a too high look, I'm saying this safety be ready to crash, man up, look for a post wheel. Tendencies. Back on defense. Third down, cover one blitz. Aziz QB hit, incompletion. We're going to watch the blitz later. But again, you got man coverage. Kayvon bumps up Nakua. Good man coverage by Simmons right here. Like just good man coverage across the board. Good job recovering by McLeod, right? Because he mistimes his jam and loses his release. Good job flipping his hips. Like again, not amazing coverage, but good recovery. And Stafford tries to fit it in, isn't able to. Again, let's watch the blocking. Where's the safety? Dane Belton, right? Guess where the running back's going to go? That's where he's going to go. What do we have on the backside, guys? Or on the front, we have 1, 2, 3, right? Dexter Lawrence, Bobby Okereke, and Azeez Ojulari. We got Jahard Ward and Kayvon on the back here, right? So that's going to occupy these two defenders. What is Dexter Lawrence going to do? Come on, say it. He's going to play into the center and then into the guard's hip. Dexter's going to go take the B gap, and Azeez Ojulari is going to loop around and get a hit on the quarterback. They spam that shit. Back on offense. This is, hey, we're running that wave concept again. This time Tyrod just misses. But look how open this shit goes. I love this concept. I wish the Giants would take more chances. They already get sacked enough. Might as well take some chances on it. Again, you got the deep post. And they do a shitty job of this, by the way, too, right? Like, they're not really even crossing. Like, that's not how that's supposed to be ran. But, hey, Waller attacks the space. I mean, it is some fucking space, and Tyrod misses him. Just get it out there for him. And we're saying, and I'm here's what I'm not going to do is criticize Waller for quarterbacks missing him anymore. I'm not going to do that. Like, oh, he could have made a play. No. Hit. He's wide open. Hit him. Like, that's Anyways. All right. We got another blitz by the Giants. Some good stuff on this. So we got a deep safety in Dane Belton. We got a safety down in Xavier McKinney, right? Right? Giants are going to run one of their fire zones this time. Watch. McKinney's going to bail. Bam. Now I'm the deep safety. We're in a 3-deep zone. Belton's going to come down. Okereke is going to blitz. Kayvon's going to drop back in coverage. We've sliced this. Bam, bam, bam. That's not good for Matt Stafford, right? You can't really throw here, and he ends up sitting on this. Ball gets batted. Or sorry, he tucks it, right? Where McKinney's playing on this. It's just muddied up, right? And that's why Stafford ends up pulling it. And then you're going to see up front, safety bail. So now where's the running back going to go? Well, we're going to run a nickel blitz. Right? So he's going to pick up the DB. So remember that slide protection we said earlier, right? Where they all 5 go one way and the back has the backside. So they adjusted to it, right? Because you have all this shit up here. So we're just going to do a full slide, right? So watch the offensive line. They all step left. They all step left, right? Which means the back has the backside, right? So the back does a good job on this, right? Kyren Williams does a good job on this. But what the Giants do is they're going to have all these guys bump down a gap, which means this right tackle who's doing his job is going to block this. Which means you're going to have 3 people blocking Dexter Lawrence. You're going to have someone blocking down. So you're rushing 5 against 6. You're getting a free rusher because you've occupied this back with the nickel blitz, right? They're on their full slide protection, and Okereke is rushing free. He pumps. You get a sack. Good shit. All right. 3rd down again. Another 3rd down. Giants are going to run another fire zone where, guess what? Pre-snap. Where's Xavier McKinney? Right here. Where's the deep safety? Dane Belton right here. Bam, we're going to rotate. We're going to get back and sprint and play this deep center of the field. Again, we're going to blitz some. We're going to drop some. We got Kayvon dropping. We're in our fire zone. We're going to end up in a sack. Right? Simmons gets there before Stafford even gets to the back of his drop, essentially. That speed kills. So, now they're going to run a 4-man slide. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So, hey, we got these 4 guys blocked. The right tackle's going to be one-on-one. And the back messes this up. He goes on to take this nickel blitz. Hey, and guess what? You have a free rusher anyways. But the back should have picked up Simmons on this. And that's a big sack. And then the Giants have a punt return for a touchdown, and Tyrod Taylor just totally misses Saquon Barkley on mesh traffic. This play is like getting really popular. Giants scored a touchdown with this event versus the Commanders with Tommy DeVito, where you just run all this mesh down here. Right? Creating conflict, right? Creating all this conflict down here. And I like the wrinkle that the Giants added to this, right? Where they motion Saquon and then have him bounce back. And then you just find the open gap for Saquon to leak through. You create all this traffic, get it out to Saquon. Would have been an easy touchdown. And he just misses it. Right? Creating all this traffic, right? Freezes this linebacker, and Tyrod said, hey, I was thinking about running it, and I just short-armed it. So, you guys know I obviously think Tyrod Taylor is a much better quarterback than Tommy DeVito. But if you are a Tommy DeVito stan, I'm going to give you a little fire. This is a throw that Tommy DeVito scored a touchdown on versus the Commanders. That wheel route that we saw Saquon that Tyrod Taylor missed down, that was a touchdown that Tommy DeVito threw versus the Commanders. So I'm just giving you a little fire for your flames, even though the Tyrod Taylor is a much better quarterback than Tommy DeVito, and they wouldn't have been in this situation. Anyways, appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for supporting the film reviews all year long. There'll be more that will come out throughout the year, finishing up on them. But I truly do appreciate you guys. This is my most fun piece of content, and it's really the least watched. Right? People don't want to watch a 45-minute review of losses. When the Giants lose, it's the least watched. But I really like it. I like telling the story of the game. I like learning new things about the Giants. I like seeing their tendencies. I enjoy doing it. I do it. Like when I wake up Tuesday, I start grinding film. I do the O-line reports on Monday. I go through and I find social clips and stuff and stuff that I was looking for. On Tuesday morning, I wake up. I have my coffee. And I do this on the couch. I have my chart where it's like, hey, coverages that they're using, stack box, light box, amount of safeties, Saquon versus stack boxes, Saquon versus light boxes, and just go and put, hey, I want to put this play in the film review. So it's my most fun piece of content. It allows me to take some good notes, and I think it makes the podcast better. So I appreciate you guys supporting me in doing this. Again, there's very few people that are watching the end of this, so I know that the people that are watching the end of this are appreciative too, but I appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Until then, let's go Big Blue.